My name is TEMOSEN. That's my First Nations name, and my colonial name is Charles ELIOTT. So we have basically two names we go by. One is legal documents, the other one is a true name from our ancestral background. So the name of this place here is Staaslip, and that's the First Nations way of pronouncing it, and the English way is Sartlip, because they couldn't pronounce our language in the olden days when they arrived here. And this whole territory that we're in here is called Huasatnich, and that's what they call Saanich. It's a peninsula. It's a finger of land that juts out into the water off the island, and so we're even more close to the water because of that. The waters are very close. If you look to the left, you see them, and you could look to the right, you would see them. And our people have lived on the sea, beside the sea, as far back as we know. We have a relationship with the creatures of the ocean, and the salmon especially has been the key to our survival. And we not only use the salmon, but the salmon we would dry, salmon we would smoke, salmon we would put away. We dried it to the point where you could stack them up and they would keep, nothing would go wrong with them. And we would use the salt from the oceans to cure them. When the first salmon came, and the first salmon that was eaten, a little child was chosen to carry those bones back to the ocean, put it in the ocean, and would say, "Thank you very much for feeding us, and we're returning your bones because this is where you came from." But and it's out of respect for the creatures of the ocean. We call the salmon people. Yeah, we recognize them as equals. As a matter of fact, our teachings are, all things are equal. They may not be as big and as strong, but their worthwhile of their lives is equal. Their desire to live is equal to our desire, and their intelligence is equal to our intelligence. And we were told by our parents, you make sure you eat the brains of the salmon. It looks like a piece of ice, the brains. It's a kind of a jelly, sort of a hard jelly, and it's kind of clear, and that was the brains of the fish, and we were made to eat that so we could be smart. Okay. So we could gain knowledge and be smart, yeah. So we did it. I think it worked. A little ways in our past, each morning you had to go to the ocean. And it was tradition to go 4 times under, always, because they're the 4 parts of life, you know, and we still do that. It still goes on. Some of my family is still doing it. I'm not. I just get in a cold shower now. So but it's the cold water that strengthens you. And we believe that it strengthens your body and it strengthens your mind. It'll purify you. Cold water bathing in the ocean's very kind to accept us, to help to strengthen us. I know that we're colonized, and we're still feeling the effects of colonialism because we've been alienated from our lands, from our resources, in many cases our language, in many cases our history, you know, and our little children are being taken from us at a horribly alarming rate, and taken from their cultures, their families, their languages, from everything, to live with other people. And then when they want to come back, they're so different, they're not even accepted by the First Nations anymore, like fully, maybe by the families, but they come back so different and they can't even understand the culture anymore. When I was just a child, little 6 years old, in the first few days in school, we got punished for talking our language, and the punishment was to put soap in our mouth and make us have the soap bar in our mouth and don't say those words anymore. So I experienced that when I was about 6 years old. Yeah, It was terrible. I can still smell that soap to this day. When I think about that, what I'm telling you, I can smell that soap. It was a red bar soap.
And you speak Coast Salish.
I speak a bad I speak some Sinchothan, that's what we call our language, is called Sinchothan. I'm not a fluent speaker, but I know quite a lot. And sometimes I'll try to talk a little here and there. A lot of people my age are in the same predicament. They don't speak well, but they speak partial. I say we're on a resurgence of everything, not just language, but the carving. The carvings I do, yeah. Our design system, just about gone. And I was from the generation who started to realize we got to get this back. So when they put up the monuments, totem poles in important places like airports, like universities, we're actually making a great statement. And if we're not there talking, the monument speaks to everyone. Yeah, it's a silent ambassador. That's what I like to call them, silent ambassadors.